So a lot of people have a lot of questions about the Samsung frame. So if you either want to buy this TV or you already have bought this TV, I'm going to go over the top 8 things that you need to know about the Samsung frame. So what's up, it's B the Installer. I've done my fair share of installation videos on the Samsung frame and even a review on whether or not you should buy the Samsung frame. But today I'm going to go over the most commonly asked questions that I get regarding the product itself and the installation. Then I'm going to talk about more of the questions related to the art and art mode. And lastly, I'm going to speak about the overall picture quality and what other options you may have in this price range or from Samsung or even competitors that do similar things. And in the outro, I'm even going to go over how to get this TV off the mount if you need to move or if you need to paint. It's not actually as easy as it looks, and a lot of people ask me about that, so stick around to the end so I can show you how to get that TV off the mount. But right before we get into the top 8 things you should know about the Samsung Frame TV, make sure to subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell, set it to all so you get all the uploads, and definitely take the opportunity to smash the like button right now. I'm sure one of these 8 things is going to be extremely useful, so go ahead and do it now. I'll owe you one. So as I said, we're going to talk product and installation. Further along in the video, we're going to talk a little bit more about the art mode and some of those features. And then at the end, we're going to speak about the TV's overall quality. So the first question I'm going to go over is, what is a no-gap wall mount? And how do you use it? And do you have to use it? That's kind of like 3 questions, but let's get them all out of the way. So the no-gap wall mount and the One Connect box go hand in hand. And I'll get to the One Connect box in a minute. So in 2017, Samsung introduced the no-gap wall mount to make the TV look nice and clean against the wall. And the idea is you put the mount on the wall and then there is no gap. Pretty complicated, right? Well, people ask me if the TV mount can move. Well, that kind of defeats the purpose of a no gap mount, right? But it can tilt downward if needed, but no, it cannot turn left or right. So since the no gap mount does not turn left and right, you'd actually have to connect to the VESA pattern on the back of the TV, which it does have. But if you're going to turn the TV left and right, then it makes me think that maybe you should choose a TV that's meant to be just a TV and not the art, because you're going to lose that flat effect against the wall. And so maybe you should be thinking about the TV that is the best quality and not necessarily the one that can sit flat and display art, right? So I'll talk more about using this TV on an arm when I speak about the picture quality at the end of the video. But the mount definitely can tilt downward, so if it is very high over a fireplace or something, it's something you can do if you want, but it does again defeat the purpose of the flat look. Now, because it has that no gap wall mount, the TV sits very tight up against the wall. And many people want to put this in a specific area, and it may or may not align with the studs inside the wall. Many of the viewers outside of the States are going to say, oh, we have stone or brick walls. And I understand that, and you guys can use anchors to secure that mount against the wall. But for people in the States, you can also use toggle bolts if you can only hit one stud or if you can't hit any studs at all. And yes, I said that. You don't have to hit studs with this wall mount, but that comes with one requirement. You must use good toggle bolts in order to do this. So toggle bolts are used when you can't hit a stud because they can actually go through the drywall and turn, and that metal piece sits up against the back of the drywall, and then you drive an actual bolt into it. So you have metal on metal sucking that drywall tight. And if you do that across the mount, or if you have a stud in the middle and you do this on the left and the right sides of the mount, or if you have a stud on the right or the left side and you put toggle bolts on the opposite side, it actually is quite strong. Each of the toggle bolts can hold 80 pounds. So a pair of them is 160. You put 4 of them up, it's a pretty good amount of weight that can hold. And so even the heaviest of the Samsung frame that sits up against the wall can be mounted on toggle bolts, but it's still preferred to mount them with 1 stud in the middle, or best with 2 studs. If you have brick or concrete, you can use the supplied anchors that come with the Samsung screws. So now that we have all that out of the way, we can talk about the One Connect box. A lot of people ask me, is it necessary to have the One Connect box? And what does it do? So right off the bat, you absolutely need the One Connect box in order to have the Samsung Frame TV. It's actually the brain of the TV, and everything connects to the One Connect box and then just displays up onto the frame. So even if you're gonna just watch Netflix, you need the One Connect box. Even if you're gonna watch Netflix on an Amazon stick, you still need the One Connect box. And the HDMIs, the Ethernet, the antenna, the USB, all of it connects into the One Connect box. So once people realize that they must have that, then the next question obviously is, where are you gonna put it? Now, if you do it ahead of time, you can actually have a low voltage panel built inside the wall that is flat, and you can stick the One Connect box in there. You can even stick like an Apple TV or an Amazon stick in there too. The only problem with that is anytime that you want to change a device, or if you have to reset something, you actually have to lift the TV off the mount, go inside the box, do what you need to do, and then hang the TV back up. So while it can work, it's not always the most practical. Another option that is more common is that you can actually put the One Connect box in an adjacent room behind the wall. The Bluetooth remote of the Samsung frame can hit it no problem. So it actually works out quite well. I've done it for a lot of customers. Out of the way, out of sight, out of mind. And the third and most common option is to put the One Connect box below the TV. It should be obvious. But then you either have to see the wire externally to the wall or you run it inside the wall. Now, same thing if you put it in the adjacent room as well. And again, most people overseas are kind of stuck because it's kind of difficult to run it inside of a concrete wall or a brick wall, but for people in the States, we typically run wires inside the wall to make it look the cleanest. Which leads me to the third question, which is the most common question asked about the Samsung frame. Is the one wire in-wall rated? And the answer is no, it's not in-wall rated because it has power going through it, and the coating on the outside of it is not protective enough to be in wall. So a little about this wire. It's actually 5 meters long or 15 feet. You can get a longer one that is 15 meters or 45 feet, and you can also get one that is in wall rated. But the standard version that comes with the TV is not supposed to be run in wall. So what can you do? Well, one common solution that people do is actually put this wire inside of a conduit inside the wall. Many homes in the US are built with conduit going through the wall. Typically, you're supposed to put audio-video cords in there and not actual power cords. But this is sort of a hybrid cord, and so it's walking this fine line, and that conduit is actually meant to be fire retardant, so it helps create a seal around the cord as if it was the in-wall rated version. The second option is to actually buy that in-wall rated cord, but that is $2.99 on Samsung.com. And if that cost is too much or you don't want to run it in-wall, then you're back to either leaving the cord outside the wall or putting that low voltage box inside the wall. So that's kind of the four options that you have to choose from. But what I can say is all of the options are doable, even leaving the wire outside the wall, because it's a very thin wire and it's not like having a big black power cord or a big black HDMI cord, so it still looks quite good even if you can see that wire. But personally, I favor putting the conduit inside the wall. Well, enough about the installation. Let's talk about what this TV does besides being a TV. Art mode. So I'm going to answer a couple questions regarding art mode. Then I'm going to speak about the customizable bezels that you can get for this TV. And again, at the end, I'm going to speak about the picture quality. So one question that I get is, do you have to pay for art? And the answer is no and yes. You don't have to pay for all the art, but you have to pay for some of the Samsung art. So let's start there. With the TV, you actually get 20 pieces of art on the Samsung frame itself. And it's pretty nice, and many people will be just fine with that. But if those 20 art pieces aren't enough, there are two options. The first option is that you can get a subscription to the Samsung Art Store, and you actually get 3 months of that subscription free when you get the TV. It's a promotion that you actually go into the Samsung promotion app and then you upload the art onto the TV. But after that 3-month subscription is out, then you have to pay, I think it's $5.99 per month. And if you don't, you lose the art that you had used up until that point. And the other option is to upload your own art. So if you're a professional photographer or you just have a lot of family pictures, you can definitely upload that art yourself. And to be honest, you could probably upload a lot of the art that you pay for in the Samsung Art Store by just pulling it off the internet. You can easily upload that content by getting into the SmartThings app and making some magic. You can do all sorts of cool stuff like change the size and the color of the framing, put multiple pictures in the same screen. There's a lot of options. I put a link in the description of the sizes you'll need to format the pictures in order for them to look the best. If you don't follow this, they'll have some odd gaps, so check out those size requirements. And if you're just like, huh? Then just order the art subscription and be done with it. Another question that I get is regarding the art and what happens when you leave the room or you leave the house or you go on vacation. So the Samsung frame actually has a sensor on the bottom of it that you can set to turn off when you leave the room, and when you come back in the room, it starts displaying the art again. Now that sensor and the ability to turn on and off or to be off for long term does depend on how bright the room is or how big of a change it is when you come back in the room. So if you have a very bright room and you walk in, it may not always see you, and that whole piece is made to be moved in case you want to add a customizable bezel, which is the sixth question that I get asked. What customizable bezel should you get? And which one comes with the TV? So the TV has a black bezel. And to answer the weird question first, yes, they still make a black bezel that goes over the black bezel. So it's kind of pointless to buy that customizable bezel. It's a lot of bezels. Really, that just makes the frame of the TV a little thicker, but really gives you no benefit. But they also have a lot of other colors, and in my opinion, the best ones are the white bezel and the beige wood bezel. These two change the TV's look the most, and that gives you a lot of opportunity to have a black and a white bezel, or a black and a beige. The brown bezel is nice as well, but I don't notice a huge difference when putting that on someone's TV. It almost looks like the black bezel, and they do have some cooler colors like red and other colors. Another question that I get regarding the bezels is, do they make some third-party ones that may look cooler or more elegant than just these plastic bezels? And the answer is yes. I'll link in the description the company that I know that makes those bezels. They're a little bit wacky in my opinion, but they may look good in your house. I'm just not sure I could live in the house with one of those bezels. I'm not sure I'll ever be an eccentric millionaire, or probably just not a normal millionaire either. And the seventh question, one of the most common questions that I get, is whether or not the TV's any good. Again, there's a few different questions regarding the picture quality, and I'll go over all of them. But you know, I didn't want to make this video like the top 37 things about the Samsung frame, so I just stuck with 8. So is the TV good? Is it good for watching movies? Is it good for watching cable? And should you get it if you want to put it on the arm? These are all questions that make me wonder if you should get the Samsung frame or if you should just get a different TV. Is the TV meant to be a TV? Or an art piece, or both? If it's primarily for a TV and or you're going to be turning it on an arm, then you have to think about where this TV stacks up against other Samsung TVs and other TVs in general. So the Samsung frame is a QLED, which at this point just means it's a brighter LED TV. It's not actually self-emissive like the OLED TVs, but that may be good for something like a frame where you may not want to worry about the potential for burn-in like you would an OLED. In the Samsung lineup, the Samsung frame is not at the top, but it's far from the bottom. It's better than all the Samsung TVs from the Samsung Q70T and down. And this is because it has pretty good brightness and it has fantastic contrast. And a lot of those TVs below, they may seem good in the store, but once you get it home and you try to watch some dark scenes, you can't see anything and they're not that great. But the Samsung frame is pretty good. So it's sort of in the upper third. And the ones above it, like the Samsung Q80T and Q90T, are a little brighter. And they also have the anti-reflective coating on the screen. And the anti-reflective coating is great for those TVs because it gives it even more contrast. It looks better when you're off angle, and it actually knocks down the reflection from behind you quite well. So if you're in a bright room with a lot of reflection, the Samsung Q80T and the Q90T are pretty good TVs. But having that anti-reflective screen probably wouldn't be good for the Samsung frame anyways. And that's because those TVs look pretty ridiculous when they're turned off or on dim content. So you really wouldn't want your picture frame looking like this, would you? But everything from the Samsung Q70T and up actually does have the HDMI 2.1, which gives you great gaming features like 4K at 120 frames per second, VRR, FreeSync, game mode, and they have the eARC, the Enhanced Audio Return channel, which allows you to send or pass through high quality sound to a receiver or to a soundbar. So the Samsung frame doubles as a pretty sweet gaming TV. And now back to the decision on whether TV is important, the art's important, and or if you're going to be turning this TV. So the Samsung frame is a very niche product. If you want the TV and the art, it's definitely the product to get. If you're not that concerned about the art and you really would like to turn the TV and have it angled, or if it's going to be in a family room and you're just going to be watching TV on it all day, then I could see someone getting a Samsung Q90T or a Q80T, which are slightly better, have that anti-reflective coating, and are a little bit brighter. But if you want art that doubles as a TV, the Samsung frame is definitely the best bet. Currently, it's unmatched. It has the no-gap wall mount. It has that One Connect box that can be separate from the TV. It has the customizable bezels, and it has the fantastic art that you can get off the art store, or you can upload your own content. And that nice matte finish, along with the sensors to know when you're in and out of the room. There's really no other product like it on the market. Well, except the new LG G10 Gallery Series OLED. But do you really want an OLED displaying art on the wall all the time and risk possibly getting burn-in? I'm interested to hear your thoughts on that. I've definitely thought about making a review about that TV. Maybe I can put these up against each other and give you some more information. Definitely comment below and let me know about that. Ask any other questions that I may have forgotten. Make sure to like the video on your way out, subscribe, and ring the bell to be notified when I upload the next video. And, oh, hold on, I still have to let you know how to take the TV off the wall, right? So the Samsung frame is actually just sitting on the no-gap wall mount, but it fits in there with a slight squeeze on the bar. So really, you just have to lift up, but it can be pretty hard to do. So what I tell people is to tilt the TV down so you can get your eyes on the mount connection. And then with two people, put one hand on each side under the TV and pull it out a little bit so you don't bang it into the wall. Lift it up, and one person can be a little bit higher than the other so you can kind of angle it and pop it off a lot easier. It's harder than it should be, but we don't want it to fall off the wall, right? And just like that, you can be the installer.